Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Oops, just adjusted my microphone there. Alright, we are rocking out. We're just still continuing on with this factory build. We've got our parts here. Still getting ready. So what I wanted to do, I just wanted to cover, this video probably won't be that long. I always say that, but this one won't be. I just wanted to go over a couple of things. So in the functions here, where we go to print the numbers onto the text label. Is it this one? Script.parent.text equals values.value. I'm confused now. I'm confused. Oh yeah, that's something else. That's the food label. Let's not worry about that. Okay. So we have the functions, and then we have our local script. Our local script is the one that this one here. Let's call this a text write. All right. So this is the one that prints the text to the text button. So if you press space and you put 2 periods and then another space, and then you put your parentheses in here. Let's just do it. If you do this, okay, if you go space, period, space, put your parentheses, and then like this, put another space in there, and then this is our to manufacture. So then what are we doing there? So when we previously looked at the screen, we just had 2 numbers. One number we could make go up and down, and the other number was just a number 1. But we had 2 options. You can add 2 additional text labels and manually label them. One is the amount, and one is the I don't know which one I call it. One's the amount, one's the other one there, the storage amount. Or what we've done there is we've now are able to print the number and text to the same label. So we press that, we say activate, whatever, does its thing. So this setup could be anything. This could be anything. This could be a recycling center. Somebody brings in their recycling, they dump it here, right? This is where the value center is. It picks up the parts here, right? Spits them into the recycling center. You know, maybe there's some conveyor belts here that do some stuff. It could be anything, right? But what doesn't change there is we say in storage and to manufacture, and that's what we did here. So that way, when the player is okay, when they're adding, you see it changes this number here. Now we know how many to manufacture. And then when we press manufacture, it's going to say while true to, and it's just going to count down. All right. And in storage is the one that is the value that we want to save. So it will save it'll save this number here, and it'll save this number here. But I don't think it's going to save while it's manufacturing. So because, okay, we have the code. Let me just stop the game here. Here's where we can decide now. Which values do we want to save and which values do we don't want to save? And I'll say one more thing on this. These values load onto the player when the player joins the game. You can have it so that way the values load onto the player when they activate this prompt. So there's 2 different ways you can do that. One sort of saves up it'll speed up the loading time when the player enters the game. If you have lots of data, some you want on the player, some you don't. But it's the same thing. So long as it connects to a data store, it can be standalone. It doesn't have to be connected to the main functions. All right, so now that that's out of the way, we have our script which saves every time this number changes. In here, is it this script? No. fires a value, right? No, it's not that script. Uh-oh. Is it this script? Is it this one here? Yeah, it's this one here. Update health. So it'll save every time this number changes, the food value. So what we want to do is we want it to change every time these values change, the quantity dot value and the storage dot value. So we just need a standalone script like our factory save script. We can even just copy this. Okay, it's just going to be a standalone script. Ooh. I wonder, let me think about this for a minute. No, it's going to have to be a server script. All right, so what we need to do is we need to create a timer that fires a server event, and that server event is going to be the saving of the integer when it changes. I think we can link all that together. The reason why this works is because it sits right here on the server. The reason why I don't think it's going to work is that we're trying to do it here with the interface. So when we had to build the real estate, that's what I had to do. It had to fire to the server, and then from there it had to give the reward. So if we go to our server script service, we already have, if you follow through, we already have a factory save. So it's going to be this one here, if variable then. And I think I set it up so that way we could save. Yeah, I think I did. And then I realized that I thought that was backwards, but it's not. So this can save here for food, but we're going to change this integer. All right. Where are we at here? 7 minutes. I know it sounds very confusing. So what we need to do now, what is the next step? So we can get started. We need to take this number, quantity, and we need to take this number, storage, and we need to make them on the player when the player joins the game. So let's start with that. So let's go to our player added, and down here where we have our factory, we need food and fuel, but then we also need quantity. Let's see here. Quantity and storage. All right, so fuel, local, quantity, and this is going to be storage. Now we're going to need this for every type. In this case, I'm going to have up to 4. I'm just going to run through the first one, and then I'll do the rest on my own. So its name is just going to be quantity A, and this is going to be storage A. All right, so it only stores the boxes, for example, are only going to be within this loop. This is a single loop. And then, of course, it's going to be, this has to be here. And then we have to copy this. And while we're here in the script, we may as well make 2 p calls for it. One is going to be quantity data. And that's going to be quantity dot value. So many variables, sometimes it's kind of hard to get lost sometimes. All right, and this will be factory quantity. A loaded. And then down here it's going to be factory storage. And then factory storage dot value is going to be storage data. Now, what we also need to do is we need to create two new variables. Factory A. Now, it's not going to print this. As you see, when you load in, it prints all the values. I'm just using it right now for debugging, so if something goes wrong, I'll know. But I'm going to get rid of all this because I already know that it works, so I don't need it to print. I'll just green these out. I'll go through all the scripts and green it out. That'll be the easiest thing. Okay, so then we have factory fuel. Then this could be factory quantity A. It's just the name of the variable where it saves. And then we'll have factory storage A, just like that. So now when we join the game, quantity data, the kid in the background. All right. Right, this is our main factory save script. So what we need to do from our manufacturing, okay, so that's the player added. Let's just test that real quick. Let's test the player added. We'll do this one step at a time. There we go. Quantity A and storage A. Perfect. And actually, we can save these. I forgot. We can save these. Again, I don't think we have to fire to the server. We can save these directly. I think we can save it through here. Because the interface is going to be on the player. So we can say script.parent, and find the value on the player. And we can save it that way versus telling it to fire to the server to this script here. I really think this script here is just going to be null and void. So we're done with the player added for now. I said I think this, we'll just get rid of this for now because I don't think we're going to need it. So let's go back to our interface, the factory interface. Okay, so now we're able to save these two values, the quantity and the storage. So now what we need to do is when we press the manufacturing button, so we need to say script.parent manufacture.mouse button one down, right? Connect function. And what do we want it to do? Function. Oops. All right, we want it to, we need to insert an object. We need another value, a bool. This is going to be manufacture A. All right, so it'll say script.parent.manufacture A value equals true, just like that. So, and then in, let's see. Now we need another script, which is going to handle now we need the timer script. We need this here. We need this here. But this needs to go into, this can even just go into a local script, you know? So if we go insert object, let's just get a local script inside there. And this is just our factory save one. And we're just going to paste it right into the local script because you need a local script with the interface. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say fuel equals script.parent.value, and we're going to say text label is script.parent, yeah, and then player. Do we even need the player in this one? We don't, because what we can do is instead of this, we can get rid of that, and we can say script dot parent dot parent dot parent. That brings us to factory. One more, and we're into the interface. Then we're into player GUI. Then we're into the player. Then if we say player added, if we say dot champ factory, let's see, dot champ factory dot quantity A dot value equals yeah, it's going to equal itself, but plus fuel. See here, I said parent dot value. So instead of saying fuel dot value, we need to say plus fuel. Otherwise, it'll say can't find the value, blah blah blah. So now it's telling me that player here for food data should be we can actually do this here. We can just go right to the parent. And then we can do the same here, except it's not going to be, it's going to be this here for the check on the data. It's going to be like that. What's going on here? Oh, it's this. It's this parentheses here. Let's see. Why isn't that working? Assigns two values to one variable. One is the user ID. Oh, I see what's here. Hold on a second here. How's that written? How is that written? Oh, we need to set async. I think I got rid of that. Yeah. There we go. Now what's it saying? Player. So we can do this. Because we can search for the name of the player directly from the interface. So now this is champ factory. This should be quantity A dot value. So it should save it as number 1. Let's see. Fuel. And then this should say quantity saved. Quantity A saved. Okay. Right, now every time the quantity number goes up, it's going to save it. But we need to change this value here. to this one here. And that is basically how that's going to work. Why would it just say script.parent.value? Let's see what we need to say. I think I messed this up big time. Holy, what am I doing here? So this one here, it changes that value. Right, whenever that changes. Okay, so that is right, that is right, that is right. So, where did I mess up here? Right there. That was right. Okay, that was right. Because this is the value that we want to save, right? So when the quantity changes, which is this here, script.parent.value, script.parent.value, when that number changes to 2, for example, it's going to save it. When it goes to 3, it should save it as number 3. And when it goes back to 2, it should save it as number 2. That's the idea here. This is how I set it up. No, I didn't. I should have set it up this way for real estate. But like I say, sometimes when you're writing code, you just have to write it. And then until you have a chance to look at it and play with it, you don't know whether it's right or wrong, whether it could be more efficient or whatever. So based on the real estate setup and this setup, they're basically the same, only we're using 2 different ways to save the values. It's kind of neat, actually. So now what we need to do is, so this is while true, so this will turn this on. Okay, so we're almost ready. We're almost ready to actually start manufacturing based on a pretend, oh, this saves the quantity. Whoops. This should be saving the storage, actually. We don't want to be saving the quantity. We only want to save the storage. That's right. That's right. Ooh, what a mistake that would have been. This should be storage A. I don't think we actually have to worry about the quantity. See, that's part of doing it, and then you think about it and you don't really know. You have to do it in order to see it and say, okay, is this gonna work? No. Right, because we're saving the input, which is the initial, the logs and the boxes and whatever, and then we're saving the output. What we're not saving is what is consumed while the objects are being manufactured. So that number quantity we can probably scrap and get rid of it. Because that doesn't mean anything. We don't have to save it. But what we need to save is the storage. So that means, I just want to make sure I've got this right. Yeah, and then we just need to change that variable there. That's what I was thinking of. Storage. Okay, perfect. That makes more sense. Because it's only going to manufacture one at a time, right? The quantity is just how many you want to make. But if you don't have enough, it's not going to be able to make them all. So that to me makes more sense. Okay, so now it's going to update the storage value. Okay, so let's just close all these scripts. Let's save it to Roblox. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to tell it to manufacture. So, when this goes, so we need to insert an object. We need another local script. We may as well. And we'll just say, while true do. And then we'll just tell it to wait. and then we'll say if script dot parent dot manufacturer A dot value equals true, then we want to say script dot parent dot quantity dot value equals script, let's see, script, no, come on, script dot parent dot quantity dot value -1, and then we want to say we'll wait maybe, I don't know, a couple seconds, and then we'll say script dot parent dot storage dot value equals script script dot parent dot storage dot value +1. Now in between here is what it's going to do, whatever it's going to do, right? So obviously, let's just test this. Let's see if the values change and if the numbers are saving. So let's test that. But that's basically it. You're going to press manufacture, and then this is the loop that it's going to do until it stops, right? So what we could do is we could say in the manufacture button itself, we could say if script dot parent dot manufacturer A dot value equals false, then else there we go, just like that. Perfect. So you click on it, it goes true, click on it again, and it goes false. So we should be able to start and stop it with the same button. Then we need to add in there if we want the text to change while it's manufacturing, any of the visual stuff. But now we need to see it. We've built the code, we sort of understand it. Now we need to walk through the process so we can understand it better. So we have should only have one value now. Yeah, which is storage A. Perfect. Okay. We activate that. See, now it says data store can't be accessed from the client. So what does that mean? That means that we do need that factory script that we deleted. I said, oh, we don't need this. Now, I think we actually man, I got pie on my face right now, let me tell you. If we have, no, we need a new, oh boy, insert object, folder, we'll name this, factory. Well, it's a good thing I did that, even though I got pie on my face. It's a good thing I did that. Okay, insert object, we need a script. This is going to be factory save. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need a remote event. So in the replicated storage, oh, I didn't delete that, okay? So what we need to do is we need to copy this, not this script. We need this, the storage script, okay? We need to copy this, and we need to put that in here, okay? And we need a couple of other things too. So we need, that gives us the data store. Okay, so let's disable this for now. No. We need to enable this. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this around. So instead of accessing the data store, the local script can't do that. So then instead of doing this pcall function, what it's going to do is it's going to change the value, all right? And then it's going to say, we need the event. So we need to say local event equals game.replicated storage .factory.manufacture. Okay, and then we need to say event. Event fire server, and then we manufacture A. That's going to be our variable. Every time the integer changes, it's going to fire manufacture A. So now what we need to do here is we have our local for our data store. Okay, here, let's paste that variable there. We need to say, we need a local, we need to say event equals game.replicated storage .factory.manufacture. All right, and then we need to say event on server event connect function, and then we need to say player variable, and then we need to say if variable is equal to then, and then I think we can end it here. Is that right? Let's see. Line 16. Oh, I see. We need to end the if statement, and then we need to end the on server event. And now it's going to give me all this unknown update global health. So maybe this has to be here? No. Oh, maybe we don't need this function here. Actually, we don't need this function in here. All we need to do is save. So we also don't need this function. We don't need this, we don't need this, or this. No. All we need to do is tell it to save. And where to save it? We need to say, in this case, player .user ID. And in this case here, we can say player .champfactory.storage a.value. Perfect. Now, I can get rid of that. And it's telling me just that. There's an error there. So there we have it. Our modified save script. So all it's doing is it sends a variable, it fires that remote event, and then it saves. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. So we ended up having to do what I originally thought we had to do, and that was use a server script, right? So what this is doing is it's reading for the number, and every time it reads the number, it changes. I wonder if we need to change. Yeah, it changes this value on the player, and then it tells us to save it. Save the fact that we've changed it. So there's still a chance for there to be a hiccup, but I mean, it's the best we're going to get, really. That I can think of at this point in time. Maybe in the future, if I design 3 or 4 or 5 more of these things, there I'll probably find a more efficient way of making it. But now you should kind of have an idea of how to set this factory. Like I say, could be anything. You just need an input, and then you just need a way to change the numbers around, and then you need some type of output. Like that's it. That's all you need. So in this case, our input is this object, or is this prop over here? And when the prop makes contact with this green part, it changes a value and it saves. And then, oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Now I just got to figure out these couple of errors and we should be in business here. Storage, local script, line 13. Oh, I said value here. Remember we had this last time? Oh yeah. Dot value, but we need to say fuel dot value. Yes. Okay, that solves that error. Server script factory line 19. Oh, this should be this here. Just like that. And yeah. These variables are wrong. I'm looking at it, I'm like, nah, I don't want to change. Alright. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. And then you come back to it later on and you're looking at it and you're going, wow, how does this make sense? Because this has food data and then this has storage, and then you're trying to make sense of everything and you're like, oh yeah, I remember what happened. I said, I'm not going to worry about changing my variables. So that's why it's important to have a consistent system. Alright, let's try this out. Hopefully it works this time. So yeah, as I was saying, this could be anything. This could be, if your game is like fantasy, maybe you're in a village and there's like a forge and you need to bring materials to the forge, and you bring them to the forge and they save. And then once you have enough materials, you can, say, forge a better weapon or upgrade your weapon. And it just, you know what I mean, or whatever. It's that kind of a system. It could be that kind of a system. And then the last thing we need to do is just calibrate the numbers. Do a little bit of division by dividing line 20. Huh. This one here. Oh, is this? No, let's see. Did I write that backwards again? Not home A. I'll need to look at this one. That worked. Oh, maybe it's because I've got value here. Yes, that's probably it. Right? We're going straight to the value here. So if I say cache.value, oh no, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe we change this here. Maybe we change this and we say that equals this instead. Let's try that. Interesting. We're able to get the player because when you click on your client and you fire the variable, you get the name of the player and the variable that's being fired. Hopefully, it works like that. It has so far. So, and then that way you get this here. Oh, look, we didn't get it. It's quantity A saved. So, what does that mean? That means now that if we look at Champ Factory and storage, hey, we have a 1 in our storage. So now if we leave, we're just testing that, right? And then we'll manufacture a little bit and we'll get that number to go up and we'll see how many times it saves. That's awesome. Complicated, but it's awesome. And now this could be anything. It could be representative of anything. It could be an assembly line. You just have your input and your output, and that's all you need. Your input, it saves it. You can then change that number, and then you have your output, and it saves it. Oh yeah, I didn't check. See, it saves every time. That could be an issue. That could be an issue. It shouldn't save every time. Now what's going on? Huh. That's a mystery. It shouldn't be firing. Oh, it fires whenever the number changes. And this is in here, but that shouldn't change unless this is true. I wonder if it's doing that because it's 0. I gotta think about this a little bit now, because, or it should, instead of, let's see. Quantity saved. It's gonna save every time. Let's change this value to like 5. It should only save when we press the button. So it's actually saved to 0 now. So it didn't actually save. It didn't actually save. Oh, let me do this here. Maybe I should say get async first and then set async after. Yeah, look, now it's tried to save it. That saves. Interesting. It saves when it picks up. Interesting. Yeah, this one, it makes sense because it loads. So maybe what we have to do for this one here is we have to load. Like we have it on the player, and then when we open up the interface, where are we at here? Oh boy, another hour. When we open up the interface, we're gonna have to set that value. We're gonna have to tell it to set async, or to set to yeah. Because if it's gonna save when we open it, so let's see. That's in. Is it in the functions script? Oh, I've got the local script. Hold on, what's going on here? This is our functions here. Okay. And I've still got it plugged into here. Okay, so we don't need this functions here, and we can get rid of this here. I'll just leave that for now. Okay, so in the estate script, so what we need to do is we need to say UI dot factory dot electronics dot storage dot value equals player dot where is it here? Because when you join the game, it syncs it, and then when you pick it up, it saves that value. So if we just tell it that that's the value, then it's should save the value that's there that you load in on, regardless of what value is set on it. We're gonna try that right now. So let's see. So we go to player added, and then we want to say .champ factory like that. There we go. And now it shouldn't matter what this value is. I set it to 1 as a minimum, and that way it doesn't give me an error. So we could set this to 1, and it shouldn't matter now. Let's save the game. So that's pretty much one button. If I click the manufacturing button, it should start to count up. That's what I'm hoping. So when I spawn in, it should be at a 5. Then when I pick up the interface, it should also be at 5. Oh no, I wrote that backwards. Hold on. I wrote that backwards one more time. It should be the value from the player equals the value on the interface, not the other way around. The interface on the interface value equals the player value. This value here should equal that value there. So it takes a little bit. Sometimes you just sort of gotta. This is kind of weird. I got that set up. Yes, this could be anything. This could be, I don't know, like, let's say you're a game where you're animals and you need to collect stuff in the world and bring it somewhere and store it for food. This could be that kind of a system, right? Where you're just storing, you're taking a value from one point and you're bringing it to another point. You're storing it and then you're okay. The functions. Oh boy. Let's change everything around and then I'll edit the code. We don't need that anymore. It's a good thing I left the functions value on the interface, at least. So I don't know, part 4 will probably just be me going over the finished product. It'll probably take me a day or so at this point to code it and figure it out. And that'll be the last part. I'll just go over the final. I don't think there's too much more to add now. Oh, it's just my spelling sucks. The keyboard, it's why I blame my keyboard. Line 14. UI. Oh, I see. I see. There we go. All right, hopefully it works this time. Hopefully. Ah, no errors. And it said quantity saved, and I should have checked to see. 2. It saved it as a 2. So if we just say manufacturer, see what's happening to the number? It's going up by 4. And this one's going down to -1. What is going on? It stopped when I clicked on it again. What is going on? Alright, so I guess you get the idea. I'm going to have to do some bug fixing. In part number 4, I'll have to go back through it again. But this is pretty much the basic setup. Now it's just a matter of looking at the code and seeing whatever happened. So when it changes in value, it changes the storage value number plus fuel. Value. Yeah, script.parent.value. Oh, you know what's happening? I think I know what's happening. I do. So it's adding all those. Where is it here? It's this part here. It's this part here. So when it saves, it shouldn't be adding any value when it saves, right? It shouldn't be doing anything. No, it just saves when it saves. That's it. So if we load in the game, we should have like 26 or 27. Let's just focus on that for a minute. We pressed the button. The values changed. Did it change to what we wanted? It should. So I have it set to 1. I wonder why. I wonder what's going on here. It's not that easy. I'll tell you that. It's not that easy. There. Now the value is set to 1. Huh. It must be firing that event from somewhere else. It must be. Let's see. That's the estate script. That doesn't mean anything. Oh, that's just a bunch of garble. All this does is just changes the text. That's all that does. Well, I don't know why it fires when it picks up. That's got me confused. Right, when you activate this, it fires away, and I don't know why. I don't know why. This we don't need, and then that, and then we can get rid of that there. There we go. So if you're the player, it gives you the interface. Otherwise, now when the interface picks up, we've got this local script here, which let's just delete that. Okay, so when it picks up, it, where's our function script? There's a function script right there. Oh, you know why? You know why? Is it this one? Script of parent of values dot values. Oh, that's not that one. What am I looking for here? See these two values here, on and values? One of them turns them on. Or, oh, they're already on. Okay. There we go. So the text to write requires this one here. So that should turn on when manufacturing turns on. Do you know what I mean? This is the issue here. This is part of the issue here. So because what we're doing is we're saying, is it that one or is it the up and down? Maybe it's the up and down actually. I don't really know. But anyways, that's all the time I got for this video. Basically, I just have to go through the scripts and figure it out. So when I start part 4, I'll go over the revisions. I suspect it's manufacturing, so it has to do with these values, right? So because here we have textbox.quantity.value equals script.parent.textbox.quantity.value. Something to do with this, trying to write in value. So I think I might have to merge that with this here. Every time it changes, I might have to tell it to write this. This is the manufacturing script. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking it's something like that. These two values are conflicting with each other, and that's causing it to do strange things. So anyways, like I say, that's all the time I got for this video for today, but thank you all so much for your interest. This will be part 3. Part 4 should be the final kind of revisions, and that'll be that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all then.